Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Memphis International Raceway, this time for the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series, in what is the 32nd race on the season and the 7th playoff race. Just 3 races left for a chance to punch your ticket into the finale. We've got 3 drivers total now after Zorland's win last week at Papyrus. Charles Sanford, Samet Oskin, and Jonathan Zorland, currently the only 3 locked in, as Allyson Rayne, 2-time Cup champion, on pole, fresh off her win from yesterday's Jerky Pro Truck Series race, looking to join that party with a win here today. But Vince, we know short tracks, if you're leading, you're never safe, and we saw it yesterday.
Yeah, no, you're never safe here at this place. Not really much to say other than Allyson Rayne looking to become the second driver to go for the sweep. Charles Sanford's up there to try to prevent, and let's see if Andrew Rich can get a second win of the year in third. But that's it for me. Back to you, buddy.
So Rayne on pole with teammate Quinton Moore to her outside. We saw Andrew Rich basically have this race in hand last year in the inaugural Cup race here at this track, and lap down car is wrecking in front of him, got him damaged, took him out of it, and Sebastian Kukulon was handed the win. Kukulon starts 20th today. Sanford, as you mentioned there, starting in 4th. Nico Tringale's had pretty bad luck so far in the playoffs. He's last out of all playoff drivers as far as points accumulated goes. He starts 5th with William Brock to his outside. Samet Oskin and Kev Shearer in row 4. Good starting position for Kev. And in row 5, Jonathan Zorland, our newest driver, locked into the finale. And Stephen Colon with a shockingly good qualifying run. Vince will go over the drivers that failed to make the race, and I will go through the rest of the starting grid.
Sir, we have Will Parrish, Daniel Bouchard, Scott Roush, Dale Yepez, Lance Jr., Derek Campbell, Carabel Vargas. Only Yepez, the non-rookie, to miss. Kukulon won last year, as documented. I don't know the field window, but it's a 101-lap race. Should be about, let's say, 2 stops I'm going to go with, and tire fall here.
Should be a 1 stop.
Oh, 1 stop. Okay, 1 stop, and then we'll go with maybe 2-3 second fall off tops, and that's really about it. The outside line is kind of exposed here. You want to be on the inside early in the run, and as playoff contenders know, it's go time with with Pensacola, the last race looming. This and Homestead could be the shot.
And Fitzwater, with a very poor qualifying effort, going to start 38th. Seth Cole, same thing, starting 35th. Nate Rogers, Dillon Young, all with very, very poor qualifying efforts here at a short track, so they're going to have to hope something crazy happens for them to get to the front, or they're going to have to hedge their bets on Homestead and Pensacola.
Drivers, start your engine!
So those are the next 2 races. Homestead, Pensacola. Jerky Pro will be off until the finale weekend at Chicagoland. Really looking like Baranauskas and Zach Rogers are the ones favorites to win that championship, Vince, as James Ellison is right on the edge of being in range. Very, very slim odds for him to win that title.
Yeah, he needs a miracle, and I think he needed a miracle too, even in the Final Four last year in that format. But it's Allyson Rayne, Quinton Moore, Memphis, Tennessee. Who's going to be singing these Memphis blues into the Memphis sunshine today? EGM hasn't got a guy in the Final Four or a girl. Can they change that today? Can Dillon Young come back? Can we see Fitzy also make a surprise run? We're about to find out with green flag here in Memphis.
And last year's race was, I believe, 100 laps. And Fitzwater was one of the few drivers who went on a 2-stop strategy, pit lap 40, and then I think like lap 75. And it didn't really work out for him. I think he got a top 10 still, but Allyson Rayne is flying already here.
Clean air, Zach, is going to be important today as you see the top 3 trying to space themselves from the pack.
Just remember, with Zorland's win, Zorland, Rich, and Rayne are all tied atop the all-time wins list once again, now 13 wins apiece. And I'm sure Rich wants to be the one to hit 14 first, since he was unable to get the 13 first. As that all-time wins battle will likely continue for as long as these three race in the Cup Series.
I think early on this race, Andrew Rich knows that he has nothing to lose. He'll stay cool early, but when it gets to the end, it's go time. He'll be aggressive and get the elbows up.
And he is all over Allyson Rayne's back bumper already, looking like Rich might have a strong car to win here today. As Tringali just kind of hovering behind them there in third. Oskin fourth, Sorlin fifth. Charles Sanford getting put in a near three wide with RJ Bishop and Quinton Moore. RJ moving up through the running order.
Early on, it looks like everyone's trying to. It was Zorlin underneath Oskin, 2 winners locked in, and Sanford. That's the 3. As we have battle for the lead up front.
And Andrew Rich to the inside of Allyson Rayne, looking for the top spot. And he will take it away from Allyson Rayne here on lap number 6.
I think Andrew Rich is going to start pulling the gap a little bit, Zach. This could be big for Charles Sanford and Zorlin as well, and Oskin. If they can see Rich win, it just takes one less spot away.
I mean, Andrew Rich, too, going after 12th in the points with Alexander Rowe. 7-point deficit coming in. Rowe took the 12th spot back after Papyrus. Alexander Rowe currently not inside the top 10. Of course, not the year Andrew Rich expected to have. Expected to have a win. Expected to be in the playoffs. But just didn't go his way at certain racetracks, especially Kentucky, which was probably his best shot. But now just got to keep going for the W's for the rest of the year, and he's showing that he's got another great race car with him today at Memphis, trying to get the win he couldn't get last year after getting taken out in that wreck. So Rayne is second, Tringali is third, Sorlin fourth, Sanford fifth, Oskin sixth, Bishop seventh, Shelton eighth, Shearer ninth, and William Brock is the top 10. Bit of a wacky top 10 there at the end. Levi McIntyre's having a good day. He's in 11th. Quinton Moore 12th. How about Osmain Hamid, Foster Henderson, and Colt Hudson, all currently inside the top 15. It's James Ellison working his way up. There's Priya McShane, Peter Onjak, Trey Smith, and Keith Rich, the top 20. As there's the first of our very, very talented drivers that started in the back. Seth Cole just working his way into the top 25. As you see Fitzwater, Nate Rogers also on the inside line. As Zach Flickinger has fallen back. Cole Deaver, Dillon Young still struggling to work their way up through the running order.
Yeah, with traffic back here in this dirty air, it just hurts your aero performance as well as your turning. You're going to be more tight and try to wash up. As you see, the outside is nothing. You see Kukulon last year's winner, nowhere to go. And Bass Pro Cars with Deaver as well stuck out there in turn.
And you know, Vince, if Dillon Young can't get the win at, I don't think he's going to get it here today unless something really crazy happens. But if Dillon Young can't get a win in these next 3 races, counting today's race, he's going to probably have to look back at Island Rally and Papyrus last week. As you know, his big chances. I think the same could be said for Fitzwater. We know Fitzwater did make it on gas at Island Rally with Charles Sanford, but he was just too far behind. And then, of course, last week it looked like Fitzwater had the race in the bag. But Alexander Rowe put him 3 wide on the top, and that gave Sorlin a chance to take the lead, took the lead, and held off Fitzwater to win the race.
Yeah, missed opportunities are. You would think these teams that have had so many wins throughout the regular season would perform in the playoffs, but sometimes this win, you're in format. You can't rely on consistency. It's just a win. And Fitzy just didn't have it last week, despite Rowe playing shenanigans, as I'm sure he would have said on the radio after the event. And for Dillon Young, he does have a home event in Chicago, but you sure bet he would like to be in the finale. And I think Homestead's his best shot, because we don't know what could happen at Pensacola. Anything goes.
Oh, Seth Cole going to go all the way to the top 3 wide here. And if you think about it, Vince, the whole season, the last 3 races are at home tracks for Dillon Young. Florida tracks his second home, and then Chicagoland his original home. So nothing but hometown opportunities for Dillon Young at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta tell you, Allyson Rayne's not looking anything like she was at the beginning of the run. Andrew Rich is starting to scoot away. But it could come down to lap traffic, and you know how Andrew Rich and the leader at this place is. It could be devastating. We'll find out later.
Meanwhile, racing going on here for 4th between Zorlin and Charles Sanford. Looking at the point standings coming in, not that they matter much, but Zorlin took the points lead, Fitzwater up to 2nd, and Sanford down to 3rd. Now the top 3 in the points, while Zorlin has a 19-point lead over Fitzwater and 29 over Sanford, the top 3 in the point standings all have the same number of top 5s and top 10s. 15 top 5s, 21 top 10s. Now those are both record marks. Andrew Rich set a record in 2018, 12 top 5s, 17 top 10s. Those marks have been broken. And of course Sanford has tied the win mark with 8. Just needs one more win to break that. But also with 15 top 5s is Allyson Rayne, and also with 21 top 10s is Samet Oskin. So right now you got 4 drivers tied for the top 5 and top 10 single season records.
Not just been this kind of season. So everyone has been at their A game. Sanford, we talked about the Big 5 into Big 4 because Dillon Young fell off, but everyone in the top 5 have been up there for a reason and deserve to be up there. As you see, Tringali, he had an all-right season, kind of snuck his way in there. And he's been one of those people, just like Shelton and Shear, that could use a wild card win at, say, a Pensacola. Or maybe today, if things go right.
Looking at lap times, Vince, looking at the top 5 fastest laps on the race for Zorlin, 23.428, Sanford 4.33, Tringali a 3.54, Rayne a 4.17. Rich's best time is a 1.74. And there you see it on the fastest lap. He is almost 2/10 faster than the next car on the fast lap sheet. He is hauling the mail today.
Yeah, and I think would be a good time to go on board with the fastest man in Tennessee. Right? Let's see what this guy's looking at. Going to turn 1, Andrew Rich. He's going to dime it down here. There it is. Just the throttle right now. Off exit. Down the back straightaway. Got a clear track in front of him. A little bit higher than Showell's at the entry. Dimes in again in the middle of the corner. Beautiful turning in there. He's going to push it hard and exit. Staying 4th as always. About 130 at the finish line. And about 140. You see tire fall off right now. He's about a second. And that's a lap of Memphis.
Yeah, only 22 laps into the run and already a second fall off. Definitely think we're going to see 2 seconds or more of fall off. Undercut might be a good way to gain some track time. But you see now Tringali closing the distance on Allyson Rayne for that second place position. Just in the case that something happens to Andrew Rich again, Vince, gonna want to be right there in second if you're 2 seconds behind.
Well, we saw that yesterday, right, when Nate Rogers and Audrey Baranowskis, they had their incident, and guess who prevailed? Allyson Rayne. Maybe she knows something that we don't. Let's see.
Well, right now, it looks like Tringali is closing the gap. Closing the gap, though, is one thing. Passing is another, as you can see here with Sanford and Zorlin. They've been bumper to bumper for about 5 to 10 laps now.
In fact, we joked about the Terminator, Charles Sanford, but these past 2 weekends, even 3, he started to cool off a little bit, maybe saving his stuff for that finale, trying not to spoil the setup. That's all I could think of. We'll find out, though, as we enter the last 3 races. Levi McIntyre, how about that 9th for a guy who hasn't done much at all this season?
Yeah, McIntyre with a great run today. McIntyre's one career win coming back in 2019 at the Bristol Dirt Race, and McIntyre has just a single top 10 on the season. I could not for the life of me remember where that would have been. But McIntyre having a great day. How about RJ Bishop running in 7th? Bishop has a total of 3 top 10s on the season in just 27 races. He has missed 4 races back when he was fighting to make his way in. But he got into the top 30, and he has a 33 or 26 point advantage actually over Matthew Rodriguez. And then McIntyre, who's 2 spots behind him, has 33 points over him. Kev Shearer also having a pretty great day, looking for what would be his 5th top 10 on the season. Of course, Shelton running in 10th. Brock just outside in 11th, Quinton Moore in 12th, and there you see the gap to 13th to James Ellison. Foster Henderson, Keith Rich up to 15th place now. Matt Rod having a great day up in 17th, as he knows Priam McShane is gunning for that top 30 spot. Just a 29-point gap coming into this race with 3 races left, as Nate Rogers, Seth Cole, and Fitzwater all working on the bottom to move up through the field, looking to get into the top 20. Alexander Rowe is right there with them, as Dillon Young,
Oh boy.
Zach Flickinger, Dillon Young has gone nowhere, man. He is still in 38th place, and this is a tough break for Dillon Young. And Cole Deaver has not had the pace at all today either. There's Colt Hudson. He was top 15 earlier. He is falling all the way to the back of the field, as Andrew Rich is going to start lapping some of these guys, as he's now got a 3-second lead over Allyson Rayne.
Say Zach Fitzwater picked up literally where he left off last year when he had that second pit stop and moved his way through the field. He got 12th, I remember. Now, Rayne, this is where she can make up some time, believe it or not. If Rich starts to get into that lap traffic, the air will start affecting his nose, and Rayne will just play it cool and bring Tringali and pull her to the front. Pull him to the front. We'll see what happens.
And we saw it yesterday with the truck race. Rayne was, I think, about a 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds back of Nate Rogers. And, you know, Nate just caught lap traffic and was unable to get by him. That was after the pit cycle, though, of course. But unable to get by any of them, and it just really held him up and let Rayne and Baranowskis catch up.
Yep. And I think Andrew will be on the back of the field in about 3 laps for sure. 3 or 4.
Looking at lap times, Tringali still pretty much matching Rayne, as is Sorlin and Sanford. So I think the race could be down to one of these 4 if something happens to the 23, but he definitely appears to have the fastest car here today. Seeing a little bit of shuffling in the top 10. Levi McIntyre has moved it up to 7th. As Samet Oskin has started falling down the running order. He's been passed by RJ Bishop, and it's looking like Oskin could fall out of the top 10.
Yeah, this back half of the top 10, you see where the experience lies. The first 5 about 6 seconds back, and the back half almost 12 seconds back, let's say. I'm sure Angel Rich is still gaining 4 or 5 tenths on the back of the field per lap. As you see, we scroll through Seth Cole. No more road courses. He's got to do something at Homestead probably to get a win. At Pensacola, anyone can win.
Seth Cole going to stick his nose under Keith Rich for 15th place. So Seth, Nate, and Rowe have managed to work their way through the field the best out of those that started at the back. And, of course, Fitzwater now up to 19th. But struggling has been Dillon Young.
Oh, we got a pitter?
Looks like he's starting to move forward. He's up to 32nd now. And Andrew Rich, lap 37. Rayne in 2. Tringali going to stay out. Ooh, maybe it is a 2-stop race, Vince.
Yeah, the reason why I said 2-stop in the pre, I saw 2 stops last year with tire fall. This is a good call. Now the question is, does somebody do the 1-stop and try to stretch it? We might have to go to the pit road cam. I know we did that last year to see who comes in and whatnot. Oh, here we go. Everyone's starting to come in. Here we go. This is the cam last year we did. Let's see who comes in. We've got Sanford, Tringali.
And this is very interesting because I know that these guys made it 50 laps last year, so I'm surprised that they're doing this. Nate and Seth Cole staying out, but a shocking call to make it a 2-stop race.
Dillon Young, he's got nothing to lose staying out. No, I think you'd have to go to 50. I don't see that's happening. I think they're all coming in. This is I don't know, a very interesting call. Maybe someone's going to try it.
Nope, that's Andrew. He's already done pitting.
No, I think
Allyson
everyone's
Rayne.
in.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh no, Dillon Young stayed out. I think Dillon Young's the only one.
Dillon Young is yet to pit. Fall-off is not even at 2 seconds yet. So a very surprising call, and Dillon Young is going to keep it on the racetrack. This could make things interesting.
The problem is Dillon Young losing time to Andrew Rich, and that's the only thing he has to worry about. But if he's not, this could be a race-winning call.
All in, I would say one thing though, Vince, is when Andrew Rich pit, Dillon Young was already 20 seconds behind him, so you're already a full amount of time plus that it takes to have a pit stop behind somebody. I think, you know, even if he gets it on the one stop, I don't think he's gonna. The tire difference is just gonna be so big. I mean, Rich is only 12 seconds behind him now, and he's just gonna be knocking off a second or so a lap here. I don't think it's gonna work out for Dillon Young. I think if somebody else in the top 10 had done this, they would have had a very good chance. But for Dillon Young specifically, I think he was way too far back.
He only needs one thing, and he needs a big one right now. He needs a big wreck off of 4. Everyone slows down and comes in, tries to. Because there's no caution. That's the only way you can win this race. You get a big one right now and use the pit delta gap to come in and get your service. But yeah, you see Rich is down to 8 seconds here. I think he'll. Oh, Allyson looks like he's going to get stuck behind Young.
Now, one thing I would say, though, is if Dillon Young can stay in front of Rich when he goes to pit, if he can be the leader in seven laps when he goes to pit, I'd say he's got a chance, because, of course, once Dillon pits, he's going to gain some of this time back.
No!
But Allyson is all over his quarter panel. And now Dillon Young is blocking him. That's going to let Seth Cole close the gap. I think Rich is going to have to lead before lap 50.
Allyson must be fuming over Dillon Young right now, Zach. He's not happy.
And they're going to put him in the middle 3 wide. But yeah, Dillon Young should be able to gain some time back once he pits, but this is... Well, he's running one lane up the track, not the lane you want to be running on such a strategy. McShane's going to go to the outside, perhaps? No. Lead should be down to about 2 seconds now. Yep, 2 seconds, there it is. Rich should be able to pass just about now, but Adam Flicking just going to turn McShane. Ooh, Trey Smith's going to get on the brakes there, and they avoid disaster. But that could have been so much worse.
There's Andrew.
That could have been so much worse. And Andrew's going to dive it in, and Andrew Rich will take the race lead. Gonna watch Dillon Young because, man, things are getting dicey around him. Still staying out on the racetrack. Got to do what he can. I got to say, though, I admire the courage to make this strategy call after being that far in the back. But I think even if you pit here at lap 50, I just don't think you're going to gain back enough of the time. Once Andrew Rich pits around lap 80, he's going to be hauling the mail for 20 laps, and I just don't think Dillon's going to gain back enough time in the next 30 laps after he pits.
Oh, no shot, but he had to try something, and that's all we can ask for in a race like this. You see you lose the second to roll. Careful right there, Osmane.
So Rayne up to second now. Tringali will fly by here soon for third. Sorlin's going to be for fourth, and Sanford for fifth. Those things are still super dicey here. As there you see McShane now trying to get by Dillon Young. Dillon Young doing his best to hold the bottom. Okay, he's made lap 50. It's
now
time,
he should come in.
Time to pit. Maybe stay out one more lap, but after that, it's time to pit. Sam Young right behind him. Oh, this is going to make things difficult.
Tringali's getting screwed here because Zorland's going to go underneath him for third, and Sanford might for fourth. That's a tough break. Tringali.
So Tringali losing all kinds of time here. That's about a second a corner, I believe. He's going to dive to the inside now. All right, now if you're Dillon Young, all right, there's a hole behind Colt Hudson. Get down, get down, get down. Pit, pit, pit.
Here he comes. What does he pit?
Yep, he's
Yep.
coming in. All right, so he's 8 seconds back.
He'll lose a lap.
He came out with, yeah, he's going to lose a lap. So he had a 12-second lead when he came out, or when Rich came out of the pits. He had a 12-second lead, so now he's 8 seconds back. So that's 20 seconds of time, which is how far behind he was on Rich to begin with when Rich pit. So now we'll see if he can gain them 20 seconds back. And then once Rich pits around lap 80, we'll see if he's 12 seconds ahead or less. As McIntyre's made it up to 6th, Bishop 7th, Shelton 8th, Shearer 9th, and Quinton Moore rounds out the top 10. Oskin has fallen to 11th. Seth Cole 12th, Fitzwater 13th, Ellison 14th, Keith Rich 15th, Ace Rogers, Nate Rogers, William Brock, Foster Henderson, Alexander Rowe, Adam Flickinger. Everybody that's on the lead lap. Dillon Young's actually going to go 2 laps down. But he's going to have the freshest set of tires. And he's going to come out with not too much traffic around him here to start the run. And there you can see already 10 lap, not even, more like a 14 lap difference in tires for Dillon Young. That's just going to be just enough to get him about 3 to 4 tenths faster. As you can see already, he's just able to throw it into the corner. But Dillon Young 2 laps down. Andrew Rich, the race leader. So Andrew's got to know, yep, I got to haul the mail. He's going to make it on fuel. Now the question is, Vince, should Andrew Rich and these other drivers go 50 laps and then just pit for 2 tires with 10 to go?
No, don't do that. In fact, if Andrew Rich was smart, I'd come in 10 laps later. Because if you come in at lap 76, Dillon Young will probably be on the back end to get his lap back. Both of his laps back. He's coming. He'll definitely get by you here. There's nothing you can do. Now, I just don't want to get kicked to the outside or something and risk a wreck. That's all you hope for if you're Andrew Rich's case. Not much fall off, about 8 tenths.
So
He's young. He's
24-0, so he is a second slower than Dillon. Dillon's got to be careful here. He's clipping Logan Williams. Now he's on the other side of it. He's going to make... Logan's going to give him the lane here. No, he doesn't. And this is the thing here, right here now, is... So Dillon Young held everybody up. He was really off pace. These guys are not as off pace as him, but he's got to try and get by these guys as fast as possible. The longer he stays behind them, the less time he's going to be able to gain back.
Another problem, too, is that Dillon Young, like you said, did not have the top 5 pace. He had 40th car pace. I think it's starting to show here, and yeah, he's just not getting anywhere.
He's going to try and go to the top of Williams here since he can't get by on the bottom. Good idea. Not going to gain as much time back there, but there you can see the difference going into the corner, and Dillon Young will drop it down. So now next car up is Andrew Rich. Passes him. That'll get him back to a lap down.
Oh, Andrew high.
Just remember, there's always a chance of disaster here, too, Vince. Rich isn't safe, even if he's got a 5.5-second lead and 2 laps over Dillon Young.
That disaster's the second pit stop because we have 4 or 5 different cycles of pit cycles. Let's say we have 4. Let's say 4 cars come in 1 lap, 4 next. That could create a problem. Now Dillon Young should do what he's got to do here. Get around Rich, 1 lap down. Now go like mail. He's got to haul the mail and hope for that timely wreck. Maybe that's another. If he gets a timely wreck, could be big too.
He's right on Rich's bumper as he navigates traffic. Wouldn't be shocked if Dillon decided to make it 3 wide here. But he's just going to ride behind Rich's bumper, trying to push him past some of these lap cars.
Here we go. Dillon Young, very aggressive on that back bumper. He might do the old bump and run.
He's going to peek the nose.
Ooh.
Doesn't quite get there. Rich has lapped up to 20th place. And Dillon just kind of not making a move. I mean, he can make a move and dive it into the corner, but he's just not doing it.
Shows you how strong Andrew Rich's car is. He can hang on with Dillon Young on, what, 15, now 20 lap tires almost?
And this isn't helping Dillon Young's case. He's got to pass people.
Now Allyson Rayne's so far back. I mean, I guess Andrew Rich is just comfortable staying here behind Brock. And no, Brock fell down a lot. He was in the top 8 at one point. There's Allison. There she is.
So Rayne 5.6 seconds back of Rich. Sorlin 2 seconds behind her. Charles Sanford in 4th. Of course, Tringali really suffered from getting held up by Dillon Young. How about Levi McIntyre closing the distance there in 6th? Could have a shot at a top 5 on the season here. Jessica Shelton in 7th. Oskin 8th. Bishop having a great day in 9th. Quentin Moore rounds out the top 10. Fitzwater's made it up to 11th place. Kev Shearer is 12th with Seth Cole right behind him. Nate Rogers 14th, Ace Rogers 15th, Keith Rich 16th, and Ellison down to 17th place. There's William Brock, as Dillon Young still hasn't gotten by Rich, and Rich lapped Adam Flickinger. Dillon Young's got to go. He's got to go now. He's really peeking the nose there, and I think this will be it right here. This will get Dillon Young back to just 1 lap down. Now he's got to go. You can see how hard he pulls away there. Got a bit of a gap from Ace Rogers to Nate Rogers. He's got a chance to gain a ton of time here. He's just got to set him up, knock him down, because these guys are going to pit in 13 laps. There's only so much time you can gain now. He's gaining still about a second a lap, but he lost about 5 laps the time he could have gained just sitting behind the 23.
Yeah. The only thing Dillon Young would have to do, he'll probably get the lead when pit stops cycle, but he'll lose that again. He's basically on a thin duck situation. He's got to go now. As you see, he's still trying to get around Rich here.
Once he clears the 63, he'll have a little bit of open track. And then same thing once he clears the 72. You see Rich closing in on these lap cars himself, though. There's the peak. Does he get the nose in there? Yes, he does. Ace moved up for him. All right, now you just got to go. And I mean, if I was Rich, I would pit early. Vince, you got a 7-second lead. You might as well pit now.
Yeah, I don't know why you would risk trying to do an overcut here. Unless, now, this is the only thing, right? We're going to see 6, 7 different strategies because the pit delta was so long, about 2-3 laps. You know, that's where you can get a problem. At pit road exit, you get a wreck. Pit road entry, someone slows up. Find a gap and just pit now. I think this could be a good gap if you get around Ellison right here. It's enough. If you got your what is it, brother's, son, whatever, in front of you, his friend Keith Rich. Yeah.
Son.
His son Keith's right there. I think that's a good family move right there. Get in front of Ellison, just pit right there.
About 8 laps away from the cycle. Actually, nah, they pit lap 36, lap 37. So they're about in the cycle range right now.
A couple more laps, yeah. There's Rayne.
Sorlin has caught up to Allyson Rayne for 2nd. So anytime now, Andrew Rich can pit. He'll be good to go. As you see, Dillon Young has been flying past people. Look, Bishop and Quentin Moore pitting first. Kev Shearer, and there comes Andrew. So as expected, lap 73. And this is what I want to watch. I want to watch the 23. Where does the 2 come out in this? So you lose about a lap running down pit road. You lose almost another lap on your pit service. So where's the 2 going to come out here? There's the 2 right now at the start-finish line.
He's now on the lead lap, yep.
I don't think Dillon Young's going to get back around in time. I don't think he gained enough. I think Andrew Rich held him up those laps, and that's going to help Andrew Rich tremendously.
For Andrew Rich, got to be careful. We got cars coming out. He's got to be really careful.
Here he comes. No sign of Dillon Young. It wasn't enough. There's the 2. He was probably going to be right in front of him if he wasn't held up all those laps, but it just wasn't enough.
Levi McIntyre stayed out?
Yeah, it appears to be the case.
There's no way he can stretch it, that's for sure.
Andrew going to come out right behind teammate Ace Rogers. Now the thing is, Rich is going to be around a lot of cars that have a lap on them, as far as tires go. Yeah, Andrew Rich back to the lead. 4.5 seconds over Dillon Young, and that's about the time Dillon Young was held up by Andrew Rich. Young's got about 4.5 seconds back to Rayne. I don't even think that's enough time to hold on for second.
No. And Zorland's right there, too. I mean, he's right there. It could be a battle for second at the end of this race.
But you got to give Dillon Young props. It was worth a shot at the end of the day, but he just didn't get by who he needed to pass fast enough, and he only had about 20-something laps to do it.
I think Dillon Young knows he's got to do something at home. I mean, Pensacola's. I mean, Homestead, he might have a good qualifying run, but his race pace this entire playoffs, excluding Island Rally, has been off kilter. And really, since May, it just has been the same.
You look at Dillon Young's wins on the season. Road course at Provo, and then 2 short tracks, Richmond and Martinsville. He's got an oval win in his career from Auto Club last year, but he is not known to, be the most capable driver of winning races in his career. He's always been consistent, but it's always been difficult for him to get that little more and get the win. But he's got 3 wins, 8 top 5s, and 20 top 10s on the season. So if the series were to run a full season championship next year, I would definitely say don't count him out, because he knows how to be consistent.
It's something we'll decide in the off season. As you see, Rayne and Zorland are, let's say, a couple laps there from overtaking Dillon.
And Andrew Rich is gone with a 9-second lead, but you know, as well as I know, what happened here a year ago. We'll be coming to 20 laps to go, and I believe the incident last year happened with about 10 laps left.
92, lap 92. Yeah, right there. Yep. Not over yet. He's not at the short track, that's for sure.
Priya McShane falling to 41st after choosing to fix the damage on the back end. Hudson's about to take that position. Matthew Rodriguez currently runs 26, so he's going to gain a good chunk of points back in the top 30 battle. I want to talk about rough days. Zach Flickinger, 37th. Peter Onjak, 34th. Kukulon, 33rd. Henderson was top 15 earlier. He's down to 30th. Turner in 29th. Ferranti, 27th. Logan York, 25th. Cole Deaver has gotten it up to 22nd. Rowan, 21st. Brock, Ellison, Adam Flickinger, Keith Rich, Ace Rogers from 20th up to 16th. Nate Rogers, great day from where he started in 15th place. Kev Shearer, 14th. Seth Cole in 13th. Quentin Moore, 12th. Bishop has fallen out of the top 10. He's down in 11th. McIntyre is down to 10th. Fitzwater's made it up to 9th. Shelton, 8th. Oskin, 7th. Now Shelton looking for 7th. Stringali has fallen down to 6th. It's Dillon Young now starting to fall down with those old tires. He's down to 5th place, and I don't think Dillon Young's going to be top 10 by the end of this thing, Vince, but if he makes it on gas, I think he will be better than where he was running, which was about 30th at the time of the first pit cycle.
Yeah, he'll hold up the leader, I think. He might get lapped again, but it's all good for Dillon Young. Gotta try something different, because there's only 2 shots left to make it after this, and realistically, you don't want a chance at Pensacola As you see, Zolan's up to second. Great run for him today. Just looking for spoiler. I guess he's just looking for a spoiler alert, and he'll do that anyway because Rich is going to win if he hangs on here.
Fastest lap on the race goes to Rich. You can see there a 174 to Nate Rogers 238. Dillon Young did set a 272, Vince, so I think it's safe to say he had pace today. The starting position just wasn't what he needed to show what he was worth. Sorlin there with a 288 and Seth Cole with a 290. So all of those guys suffering with where they qualified. Especially starting on the top here is pretty much, you know, a sentence to go to the rear. Got to start on that inside line at tracks like this. Especially Homestead next week. You want to start on that bottom. You can make the top work a little bit, but you're going to want to be on the bottom. As I think this is the largest margin we've seen since Vegas when Allyson Rayne won by about 10 seconds back at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, this is no doubt. And we had 200-lap races that Andrew Rich could do something that never happens. Lap the entire field on raw pace, but we don't have a 200-lap race. Right now, I think Rich doesn't care. He just tries to bring it home and avoid the accidents for sure and win this thing.
Kev Shear is the next driver up. That would be 15th on track. Let's just see a lap time difference here. 24.0 to a 23.8. Sorlin was 11.9 seconds back last time by. This time by, he'll be 12.29. And there you see Rich is going into turn 3 when the scoring updates. It takes 25 seconds to get around here on these kind of tires now, but just incredible pace out of Andrew Rich today. It'll be his 14th career win if he can hold it off.
There's Dillon Young.
And it would be, I believe, his second win on a short track in his career. As there's Dillon Young, his tires have fallen off tremendously now. He's not even in the top 10, and now he's going to be put a lap down. Might even be slim odds he holds on to a top 30, Vince.
Yeah, it don't look good.
Where is the 43?
Good Lord, there it is.
There's the 43 now. Let's see, he's going to be coming out of turn 2 right now, and Dillon Young is on the front straightaway, so it could be close. But tough break for Dillon. He needs wins anyway. I don't think he's worried about finishing 20th, 30th, or 40th. They were going for the win, and they couldn't get it.
And no harm, no foul in that. And we've reached the point where Rich crashed out last year. Now it's unknown territory if we get something at the end.
Well, it's been a relatively clean race. Only real accident was Priya McShane getting turned because they were trying to get by Dillon Young after the first cycle when he had still stayed out yet to pit and was 2 seconds off pace with the tire wear. And, you know, I think it's going to field so spread out. I don't think we're really going to get anything, but you never know. These short tracks, they're unpredictable.
Last short track event of the season, too. Maybe the last one where we don't get a wreck. How ironic. Nothing. Just clean. We'll find out.
Pensacola known to be wild. Definitely watch out for the big one when we go there in 2 weeks.
It's up to Homestead, Zach, for a lot of these guys. You can't chance at Pensacola unless your name is Jessica Shelton, Kev Shear. Maybe even Dillon Young, you relish that opportunity. But if you're an Allyson Rayne, Fitzwater, I'll even throw in Seth Cole, because I know he was good at Darlington. This is your next shot, and that's Homestead.
Andrew Rich all over the bumper of R.J. Bishop, who's in 13th place. Seth Cole's made it up to 11th. And he's challenging Levi McIntyre for 10th. Top 10 runs come rarely for Levi McIntyre. If he can hold off Seth Cole, that'd be great for him to get a top 10 effort. See, Fitzwater is up to 7th. Nate Rogers up to 8th.
For the second year in a row, Zach, what could have been for Fitzwater if he had just qualified? Well, he had pace, sure.
How about at the front? There's a big battle here for second between Allyson Rayne and Sanford. You know, this is big here. If Rayne can get a win at Homestead, this could be the battle right here at Chicagoland between these three. Of course, Oskin would be in the battle too, but he's down in 9th in this race.
Oskin wanted the dirt track. I don't know how strong he's, but you never know though. Oskin has that pedigree to steal something and take the kids' candy at Chicagoland. We saw a couple years ago at Texas. It might have been Texas last year, as you see the white flag for Andrew Rich.
White flag displayed for Andrew Rich. Right on the bumper of RJ Bishop. No real reason to push it here. It'll be Rich's second win of the season. I believe his second on a short track.
2 out of the last 3.
2 out of the last 3, yep. And it'll be his 14th win on his Digital Storm Cup Series career. A new record mark. Andrew Rich wins at Memphis.
I think that's a sweet redemption story, too, after last year's heartbreaker. Should have had it last year, but gets it done here at Memphis at probably arguably one of his best tracks.
Sorlin will hold on for second, Rayne third, Sanford fourth, Tringali fifth. Fitzwater got it up to 6th there at the end over Jessica Shelton, Nate Rogers 8th, Oskin 9th, and McIntyre holds on for the top 10 spot over Seth Cole. Just 13 drivers finishing on the lead lap in today's event, as Dillon Young would come home 23rd. Better than where he was, but I think maybe if he had done the 2-stop strat, he could have been driving through the field along with the other veteran drivers of the season. But that'll do it for us from Memphis, and we'll see you guys next week for Homestead.